right? Much better, yeah. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for joining us all here. I actually have some people in attendance to see the new Softails. It's pretty exciting stuff. So much to go over. I hope I can fit it all in. This is the second seminar we're going to have today. Earlier we had the Street Glide and the Road Glide and all that new stuff. So if you missed it, check out the video. But if you have interest in the Softails like me, hopefully some other people, hope you enjoy what we get into. Now, first we have to understand everything we've ever known about Softail and Dyna has been changed. And rest assured, it's been changed for the better. We have two fine specimens sitting here. We got the Fat Bob and the Heritage to go over. Obviously, they're going to start with the frame. And these guys, they definitely were thinking out loud whenever they did this. And you can feel it. So if you haven't yet, sign up. We do have the demos and the test rides going today. They will knock your socks off. And I'm also going to tell you, ride more than one. Yesterday I had the opportunity to ride them back to back to back. And I started with the Fat Bob, then the Fat Boy, then the Heritage. You could not convince me that they're using the same frame on all three of these. Completely different feel. They are the same frame, and they share such different characteristics. It's nuts. Now, I like to talk about what's consistent. It is the suspension. These things are softer than any Softail or Dyna I've ever ridden. I've ridden a lot of Softails and Dynas, guys. So I think you're going to appreciate whenever you feel that. What was different was how everything, how the handling went. So we got three different rakes going this year. The sport biker in me loved. This is our 28 degree rake. This thing feels like there is no weight in front of you. It is so responsive to handling. It's nuts. Most of our lineup carries a 30 degree rake with the traditional style fork. Those guys feed so well, but this is like, truly, I wouldn't even say a sport bike, dirt bike type handling out of this thing. It is out of this world. They're fed by two new motors. So we have the 107 and the 114. And we all saw the 107 come out last year. Made our touring series the top ranked motorcycle in the world. I mean, that's Cycle World. That's not Harley and me speaking. Now they fed it here into a lighter weight chassis where the power to weight gets ridiculous. So we bring over this 107. One thing they wanted to do to keep this thing low and tight and perfect, they made the frame extremely squeeze this motor in. So we had to go with 100% balance. So we have a double balancer going on now. They also wanted to give us an opportunity to experience a little bit more. So they went with a 114. Now, the nice thing is if you go 114, it's like a lot of upgraded things. You aren't going to go a la carte. This is going to come with a lot of ABS, security system standard, which you guys are going to enjoy this. These things are all keyless ignition. But back to the motor. So we take our highest performing bikes in the past. And we have to recognize what's in front of you is over 25% better than any production big twin ever made by Harley. It's crazy. So the 107 versus the 103, you're gaining on average about a 15% boost across the board. And then you get another 15% boost across the board with your 114. Match that in with a frame that on average is a little over 30 pounds lighter. The ride is unbelievable. And that's the thing. We all know I drink the Kool-Aid. We all know I'm going to promote Harley. I love Harley. It's going to mean more whenever you ride these things because they are explosive. I am going to take these two models that we have and go over a couple of new features. I'll try to point out what's shared across the line and then what's exclusive to the bike. Now, the Fat Bob is the only one we use the telescopic fork. Something I also noted was there is a braking difference. I enjoyed the dual floating discs on here. For what it's worth, ABS is on this motorcycle. It is not linked as it is in the touring bikes. So you have a little bit more ability to manage what goes on. But I do love ABS. I've said it in the earlier seminar. It saves lives. I'm sure of it. I've experienced it. Recommend it to you all. Nice thing here, though, they did stick with their dual reflex technology. So a lot of us, whenever we think suspension, we always go to the racetrack. And on the racetrack, we hear about cartridge. Aftermarket's addressed that well. They did it out of the box now, guys. That dual bending washer is awesome. The feedback, the feel. I will encourage whenever you take this test ride, hit bumps. Because you're going to brace for it, and then you're going to feel it and be like, wow, that should have been a lot more disruptive. Definitely going to love that. Now, this is unique to the Fat Bob whenever we see this style of headlight. Fat Bobs have always had the different headlight. I love this one. No, I hate to say I like the old one, but this is way better. But all of our Softails have LED lighting now. And with the Deluxe, we're also going to get it in the back end. So it's completely LED front and back. But LED headlights, it is the Daymaker series. These things light up the night. They're going to keep you safe. And as I like to point out, I mean, deer are what fear me riding at night. You're going to see them a lot better. In the daytime, people see you better with an LED. You know what I mean? It has that flash and catches the eye. So you're going to enjoy these shocks. You're going to enjoy these headlights on everything. Now as we come up, I'm actually going to turn this on so you can see how bright that is. We're going to go with all digital instrumentation. Two to really pay attention to, because they cut the mold on this. You look at your Street Bob, you look at your Breakout, which we have the Breakout out on demo. They kept everything right up through the risers. Knock your socks off stuff. They're beating all the custom builders to the punch with this. Here, just the design of this riser, the handlebar was awesome. We come back, and this is where actually I was going to get two members of the audience to join me here. Can I get two volunteers? Raise a hand. We got one. Jake, come on over. Come on up. Let's go, guys. So what I want to do here, I want to show you, we actually have 3 types of suspension in the rear. They all share the same monoshock. It's linear with the frame. That's one of the reasons this thing handles so good. It's rigid. You don't get a lot of language through the frame. It stays tight, but the cool thing is the to ground is so much more supple with this backbone shock. But there are 2 styles of how we're going to adjust this. One happens under the seat, and one happens on the side. When you guys want to do the side shock? Yeah. All right. So he's going to jump in here. He's going to show you how to do this, and he's never done it before, so you know it's honest. We have a dowel here. Everything's external. We're going to see this on a few of the models. You're going to want to crank it a little bit harder than that. The higher we go up on numbers, the more tension we're going to put on this shock. Now, historically, we never – that's perfect. Thank you. Yeah. So we can see it's easy. First time try, right? You know, not bad. But on our touring bikes, we tend to know this. We tour, we ride, I go solo, or if I take her, if I'm fully loaded, I do adjust my shocks. If you don't, I'm going to almost say shame on you. It's pretty easy to do on touring. Never was. I don't know a man alive who ever adjusted his shocks on his Softail. Few Dyna guys I know do. But to get the best ride, to get the best handling, to be the safest, you need to dial these in. So here, if I have her, I'm going to 4, and if it's just me, I'm going down to about 1.5. It's a big deal having an external. Now, we are going to go internal on the Heritage, so if you can bear with me for 1 second. Should have probably had this loose. We have 2 styles. So one would actually use a spanner wrench, and one uses a spanner wrench and an 8mm fitting in here. This one has the 8mm fitting. So it's going to be the first time that we actually get to see this for Jake, and I think he's going to enjoy it. These bikes do come with the tools to get this accomplished.
That's pretty sweet.
Might have been better if I had that on to begin with. Yeah, if you guys want to come in and see. Yeah, you know what? I'll point that out. It's a good question. Nice thing is, Jake said, where's the battery, right? We're used to seeing an oil tank here. It's something I wanted to point out about a Softail. These are all dry sump now. So it actually helps with the oil cooling. But better yet, it lowers the center of gravity. And once again, let them keep a tight, concise frame going on here. Now, some of the shocks that we'll see, there's actually a spanner wrench right here. This would be the trickiest, and you're going to see it's not that tricky because we're going to have a first-timer do it. This comes with 2 pieces, like so, to give you leverage on the end, the 8mm fitting. Got it? Yeah. This way I'm not the only guy on the spot, right? You know? Okay, where's the other piece at? Right so here. This 8mm will go right there.
You just turn it there?
Yep. You got it. You want to use that for leverage. So we can see this is quite easy to do. I did all that without tools. I generally use a penny to, okay. Here's a good question. We can actually see some lines right here, you know, 1 through 5. And then that, yeah, you're going to read that exactly by these notches. So at this point, yeah, we're on a 3-notch. Pretty neat though, you know. So now, with or without passenger, you can get the most out of these things. And once again, whenever you ride it, you're going to feel a lot of sport under the hood on these classic design bikes. They're crazy. So thought you'd enjoy that. I want to go back to the battery. So these, like our Touring Series prior, these all do have the battery tender cords hooked up already, so you're ready to go. But in that case, whenever you do have to change a battery, everything's going to come out the right side. This is now a panel now that it's not an oil tank. Okay, it's really easy to do. They did show me at the show. I'm sorry, just for time's sake, I got a lot to go over. I'm not going to take it out of here. I think I can get it out of there in about 3 minutes. I think if I did it twice, I'd be under 2. The one trick to this, and this is worth knowing because, hey, you at home, I hope you own one soon. Some of these you do actually have to take the dipstick out to create the clearance. And it's not all models. So some of them you will remove that dipstick. That would be the only thing interfering with it. So it's a very easy access point. All right. Any questions offhand? I'm loving questions because I got a million things to talk about, and I want to stick to priorities. Anybody have any questions offhand? All right. Well, if we want to come on over here, if I can get the camera in here. Another neat little feature, they put the USB port on all of our Softails. It's hidden here in the frame. This is going to be nice. I mean, we all carry cell phones. I wish I didn't sometimes, but I carry it everywhere I go. I certainly want to be able to charge it. We got it right here, so we can plug in. You know, we're going to have windshield bags. We're going to charge that thing. We're going to have good access for some of the sound systems we put on our Softail. So I like what they're after here. Definitely going to come in handy. Now, that is not hot. That only charges if you have the motorcycle on running, or, and this is pretty trick, if you just hold up here, these do now have an accessory mode. This is kind of cool. This will stay on for 2 hours, and because that's LED, the only light, it puts almost no draw on the battery. So pretty slick, you know, pretty slick stuff. And show off all kinds of new stuff here for the camera. We no longer have to worry about fighting anything over here with our fuel gauges. They're all digital. They're all a little bit more accurate than we've seen in the past. So one side fuel cell. You may have noticed we're running 2 different style. Actually, they're all new gas tanks for us in total. But we have the 5-gallon fuel cells and we have the 3.5. 3.5 are on the sport models, Breakout, Street Bob, Fat Bob. Show off that muscular top end of that motor. That thing is, I mean, the Milwaukee 8 motor is a good-looking bike. These guys, where they know you're going to go a little further on the Heritage, they want to throw you 5 gallons. So I think you'll enjoy some of that.
Why'd they go away from the 6?
Well, you know what? They've only ever used the 6 on the Touring Series, actually, in all reality. So, yeah, 5 is the max that we've had. And even if we look back, you know, before we got in the twin cam stuff, most of them were 4.5. Even whenever they looked big, it was a 2-piece tank. And I can go silly here because they've gotten rid of crossovers, everything to make our tech's jobs easier, faster. Saves you money when you're paying hourly, right? Makes it a little easier to do at home. Those of us who like changing our handlebars, this is a 2-piece clutch cable now. I love it. I love it. It actually comes apart right here. It's a simple clip. And here's the cool thing, too. Self-adjusting. So once you pull that tight and the clip falls into place, once again, I wish I could disassemble for everyone to show this. It is so simple, so easy. You take it apart right there. It self-adjusts your tension. So it'll leave you with an 1/8 inch of free play after you change it. That's awesome. So all you got to do is make it tight, clip it in, boom, it falls into place. Job is easy. For those who want to go with ape hangers, things like that, drag bars, simple change, and you're going to save money doing less on the equipment there. So, but
Can you get a longer one if you do go with like ape hangers?
absolutely, yeah. And now, you know, once again, let's talk about doing it here versus in the past. A lot of times I had to take the exhaust off to do this. I definitely had to get the transmission cap off. You know, that's tough stuff. We're talking about an easier way to do this. This is going to save us money doing it. Even the fact you aren't buying a cable now. You're going to buy a little wire extender. We went to the all electronic throttle now. See how no cables? I love it. You know, that's something we've been enjoying on our touring bikes since '08. But, you know, all new to us here with the Softails. On the Heritage, we're going to see this does come standard with cruise control. But we can upgrade all of these with cruise control now, and that's something we couldn't do for a long time. Absolutely. You know, we're going to come equipped with heated grips, and popular accessory of mine. You know, we have some motor company in attendance here, by the way, if you didn't know. I'm calling them out because I love me a heel shifter, especially if I have the floorboards, okay? And they really didn't do this out of the box, all right? But it is available from accessories, so for any doubts that you had there. I wanted to talk about that area for a second here. We have the floorboards in place. These are now spring-loaded, so you aren't going to get that hang-up, okay? Once again, I keep saying it, I'm going to say it again, ride several of these. What blew my mind in riding the new Softails was how I was not scraping floorboards. So once again, for any doubts that I had about what a Dyna could do or not do, that bike will get you up to 32-degree lean angle. I've never had that on a Dyna. This one's going to be a little bit less. But I challenge you, try to put this on the ground. I know most of you can. You know, don't go too far, right? But I'm going to tell you, as I tried to do this myself, you know, and I was out here, I was doing like the obstacle courses we've done from Pro Rider and everything. I'm digging deep, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm not touching it. It's that cool. And that's something, and I've owned Softails through the year. My floorboard shredded. This thing is very, very rideable with the floorboards. Absolutely awesome. Like I said, we got them for you to ride out there today, so I think you're going to enjoy that. Style-wise, as we look further on the Heritage, this thing, it went straight back to the knucklehead. You know, this is from, what was that, 1949. Blackout windshield, black motor, black front end. Love it. You know, straight Hydroglide aspects. You know, we got the hard bags now. Like I said, these guys really thought through a lot of what they did. And, guys, thanks for hanging out with me, too. You know you get a free gift at the end of this. I don't know if everyone knew that. So make sure you get your scratch-offs. You know, we got 4 cool gifts going on. But these are hard-packed now. I'm going to enjoy that. We always saw those kind of sag in. And I've always thought the Heritage was one of the best bikes in our lineup. Problem was that style didn't hit everybody, and maybe this one won't. Well, rest assured, if you love chrome, our Deluxe has more chrome than any Softail we've ever sold. Thing is gorgeous. They're on delay. Once again, motor company. I'm not going to see any till December at the soonest. If anybody did want to see anything, let our staff know. They're going to call you up. They'll let you know of anything you want to see. We are going to have kind of a limited, you know, selection. We've been selling them pretty quick, and you know, as they produce these new models, it's going to be a little delay. But I am anxious to see the Deluxe. But hard pack back here, they're now lockable. Never had that. So they took what historically maybe was a classic styled bike and really kind of gave it more of a true retro fit. You know, I don't think it's going to be as polarizing of opinion. You know, it looks less like an old guy bike and more like a, you know, a cool nostalgia piece. I got to get over there because that's the one that I'm in love with personally. Dude, I think you might be the whole way around.
When you turned it, grab it, you're around the wheel. Let me just roll it for you.
Help. If we get any likes on this video, I think we all know that's going to be the one that gets the like, you know? People always dumb stuff. Anyhow, so we get back to the Fat Bob. So we go from something like retro, nostalgia, cool. We get into something here that's so cutting edge for us. I know whenever I first saw this, I'm thinking Mad Max. When I see the new Fat Boy, I'm thinking Terminator. You know, their style influence, you know, was no holds barred. We went with all stainless steel exhaust now, too, if you didn't know that. Much better components, lighter weight, handles the heat better, absorbs the heat more. We got precision cooling in all these. So they're all oil cooled now. And if you noticed, even on the CVO, they went oil cooled only. They've achieved some great things with this. Jim Fox and I were talking about it earlier. They hit it straight at the exhaust port. They take out the heat. They do not have to do things we had to do in the past of changing spark timing and fuel ratios, because the thing is going to run consistently all the time with precision cooling. The motor itself has that lower center of gravity, as we talked about with the dry sump or the wet sump. Once again, I'm going to go back to questions because I think this bike speaks for itself in style. Tail end is awesome. The lean angles are excellent. Anybody got any questions? No? He had a question. Went away. Yeah. Oh, you did? Cool. Cool. What was it? Obviously, I might have missed it. Oh. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, you're still going to have 3 separate cavities to check with your transmission fluid, your primary, and your motor oil. So, yeah, we're going to see that on these guys. The tranny and motor do share some fluid, so that makes life easy. Any other questions offhand?
I got a question. How, comparatively speaking, does the lowrider, the street walk, and this new model here compare for vibration, mirrors, handlebars?
Awesome question. Now, you know, really that, you know, and there's more to that line of thinking, because we had a counterbalancer before, right? On our, you know, on our Softails. This thing is smoother than that. Now, we had rubber mount. This is 100%, by the way. This is 100% isolated from vibration. It's awesome. And once again, you need to feel it on the road. The cool thing is whenever you're into throttle, you still feel the mechanical rev. And that's an important something that didn't go away. But what you won't experience is this thing doing this to you, you know, at a red light. None of that. And once again, their stout team would have a lot to do with that, because they wanted to cradle that thing so tight, that motor. And that's one thing you can't do with rubber mounting, you know. And if we look at our touring line, they do. They kept it counterbalanced and rubber mounted. So, yeah, I definitely get the point. But if you feel this compared to a Dyna, it's unbelievable. And that's why I say ride it. We all know my words have, you know, I want to believe in these, right? I want the doubters to ride these things, because that's who's really going to be like, my God, you know, they got the best out of the Dyna, the best out of the Softail line. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Absolutely. You know, as far as percentage, I guess most of our bikes are about 650, and we're down, you know, 30. So I guess it's about 5% weight difference. So to put it in percentage, we're looking about 5% lighter weight bikes. More importantly, the center of gravity has changed. Once again, you aren't harnessing oil up high, you're putting it down low. This thing, even whenever we had a wet cent before on touring, I noticed, had such a lower center of gravity. You sit on the Fat Boy, for instance, out there, you touch the handlebar and it's standing upright. It's crazy whenever you feel that. Now, what we really want as riders is power to weight. And we did talk about that earlier. So 25% better power to weight ratio than any big twin you've ever ridden. It is absurd. You know, this thing from 0 to 80 is instant. I could talk about some things I'm not allowed to, so, you know, this thing, it runs well. It runs really, really well. Please ride it. You're going to need pants on to do it today, right? You know, how many other questions? You guys are hitting me better than anything I'm coming up with. Any thoughts? Fuel mileage. Leave it to Jim to have something I honestly don't have memorized. As I understand, the fuel economy went up a little bit, obviously, with power to weight ratio. It is a couple mile an hour better than what we've had in the past. They're ahead of everything like OSHA and EPA standards. I know they're set for, you know, 5+ years, not needing any change out of these. I wish I had that answer. If anybody wants the answer to that, I'm going to get that for Jim immediately following this. Stay tight or throw me your email address, something like that. I'll make sure I have that. I think it's actually even in the literature, which, guys, I have it here if anybody wanted any brochures. Sorry I don't have the answer, but I'm not going to make it up either, you know? Yeah. Yeah, right.
But now that, I mean, here, it's always here. So now the thought process is that this now meets worldwide emission standards. You know how they have domestic and then European models? Is it one
California.
forever?
Yes, yes. Can I get confirmation? Yeah, I knew that was the case. I don't want to let you down twice. So, yeah, they clear on everything. And, you know, another thing to keep in mind, and this was a big deal, and that's the thing, I can summarize so much into this, and I can get very incremental. But we even looked last year at what we did with the new tuning systems, the Pro Street tuners. For those who don't know, everything we do Screaming Eagle as of last year is now warranty compliant. So 17s, 18s, you can cam them up. You can do the heads in there, and it's all warranty compliant. So they've made major, major headway. And a lot of that is truly about the new engineering behind the Milwaukee 8 design. Like, I can talk about that. That head, without that performance discussion, is 50% more flow-worthy than our predecessors. This isn't like a little bit better motor. It's like a way better motor. You know, and I forget that. You know, Milwaukee 8 been out a year. It's a single cam. I'm sitting there at a red light like, this is cool. This reminds me of my old bike. This is 800 RPMs. This thing's just sitting there giving me the potato. Once again, things I can't talk about, but pipes. You know what I mean? These things are going to sound awesome. Kind of, you know, it's something I miss from like the old shovelhead and the old carb bikes, you know. Yeah. I'm sorry? E85. No, you know, I'm not going to go there. Yeah. I hope the E85 companies won't watch us. I'm sure they won't catch on to us. You know, I'm just going to stick to the book, and the book tells me 91 or better octane. So, you know, if they can claim that they have the same kind of combustion characteristics, I'll take it. On combustion, we got 4 spark plugs. We know we're going to clear that stuff out a lot more efficiently. Should have less carbon residue, right? It's going to burn now. You know, in fact, that was one of the new. I was talking to Screaming Eagle and parts and heel shift. We have some new fat wires, they call them, spark plug wires. That's something I've done secretly on a lot of my bikes in the past, and I always felt it helped me get the most performance. You know, that's an area that shouldn't have to be an upgrade in my opinion, but they're pretty inexpensive. You know, it's a way to make sure you're getting the right burn, keeping everything proper. That's a big part of what's going on underneath you, and the fat wires look like a great, you know, contribution this year. Oh, definitely, definitely. If I'm not mistaken, 17% stiffer frame, which is funny because you hear stiffness and you don't think suppleness. And that's what I was trying to say, that like whenever you're handling this thing, it doesn't have that bend to it. It's rigid, and I know that's what you're talking about. But the irony is, so your side to side is incredible. This thing, it sticks. Once again, I love a Harley over all the sport bikes I ever owned, but I always think to that. And this thing sticks like a sport bike. You know, there is no sway. There is no chassis sway. But the irony is, with that backbone, once again, this thing has such a supple shock in the back end. You know, it is so soft. Once again, I got to go to Jason Carney yesterday. He's riding up Otterman, hits a bump, and he's telling me this thing felt softer than his Street Glide. I mean, literally, think about that statement. Hey, I seen the look in Jim DeZorzia. Jim, go ride one and you tell me. You know what I mean? But I know what he's talking about because I was hitting bumps. And I was impressed at how much I braced and how uneventful those were. You know? So, once again, ride them. My words are going to come at you pretty good. I want to believe. I like the, you know, I want everyone to experience it. You know? Oh, it is. It is. You have to. Yeah. Night and day. And that's what I said, even like if you take this bike out, you take that bike out. You're going to meet two very different characters sharing the same frame. That 28 degree, that wheel size, that handlebar type. It's unbelievable. I'm telling you, whenever you ride this, you'll swear the bike stops there. There's nothing in front of you. It is outrageous. That one, you're going to feel some of that touring kind of comfort with that saddle. The effort of handling this with that extended handlebar, it's no effort. You know, it's literally, it's twitchy. You know, everything feeds right to what it's supposed to do. I'm really proud of our guys. You know, Harley did us right. You know? Yeah. So. Hey, anyway, who wants some scratch-off tickets so you can get some free stuff? You ready? Any other questions offhand? I'm sure I missed plenty. Stop in. I got all the questions. It's sales@zmcycle.com. Anybody got a question? I'll do it online, you know? Yeah.
Is the motor company going to make readily available 114 kits, say if you just bought a model that wasn't available? Because there's only a couple models that you can get a 114.
He's right. In fact, we have 8 Softail models. 4 of them we can do the 114 on out of the factory. And like I said, you want to look at those price points too, because in some cases, like ABS will become a standard feature with it and everything. But to answer your question directly, absolutely. Not only can we build it to a 114, we can take you a little further if you want. We can go with higher compression ratios. These guys are 10.5 to 1 for what it's worth. Something we've not done from the factory ever before. You know, like, and keep in mind, I'm kind of like you guys. I'm their customer. You know what I mean? Like, they got to give me the goods. I can't stand. I've never done this. I believe in it. But so we can take it there. And then the most poignant part, what I said earlier, is I did a cam job in my Street Glide. I never did that before. Why? Because I don't want to be in Iowa and have a problem, and it's a major problem. But now that I know it's factory backed and I'm under warranty, I'm good to go. You know, that's a big deal. And I also know that those technicians are going to be familiar and confident dealing with my products. You know, that's the problem whenever I have some friends with some aftermarket. I'm like, man, you show up and, you know, once again, here it is. I'm speaking for Z&M, not Harley here. I know Zippers has a good tuner. But I also know whenever I'm down there in South Carolina, that dealer may have no interest in working on a bike with my tuner. If everything's warrantable and everything's Harley, I'm covered. And that's why you've never heard me discuss doing motor work prior to my new Street Glide, where I know it's all factory backed. And that's a big deal. So not only, yes, can we do a 114 and more, we can do it with confidence. If you walked in here with an Andrews cam, anybody know Jim Person? Hi, Jim. Jim had no interest in putting that in your bike. And it's not because he doesn't want to work. It's not because he doesn't care about you. It's not because he even knows Andrews is a bad company. But he knows there might be that time that comes up that you have problems and you associate Z&M with the major problems you're dealing with. We don't have them problems now. It is warrantable. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I felt more like a damn lecture. Sorry. Any questions? All right, guys. Hey, I'm sorry. Still 2-year factory, unlimited mileage. We sell the extended warranties up to 7 years. You know, that too is unlimited mileage. So, yeah, doing that, and 7-year emissions warranty. So that's kind of nice. For that, you do want to stick with factory components, things like that. But that can come in handy. That's a big deal. It's something a lot of people don't know. I was talking to my sales staff in a meeting this morning about that you do have a 7-year emissions warranty. So if you're facing any issues even on bikes, they've had that for a while that you own, don't be afraid to ask. Let us dig a little deeper, see what we can do for you, you know. That's it. It's free stuff time. Hey, once again, if anybody has any questions, I welcome them. It actually makes me a better student because I'm not going to know all the answers. Like fuel mileage, we're going to find that out. You know, please send them over. sales@zmcycle.com. Call, stop in, whatever. Here to help. Thank you. Hope you enjoy the seminar. Thanks to the crowd. Guys, thank you for participating. That really kept direction for us. So thank you very much. Let me get you that, and hopefully you go ride these things now. Bye.